Welcome back to Trump Tuesday. This is episode 35. Let's get right into the news. Sometimes in my prior Trump Tuesdays, I like to stress how much happened in the past week, but I have to say that this week tops it all off. But the main two things that happened are, of course, the first presidential debate, and Donald and Melania Trump testing positive for COVID-19. But first, let's get into the disastrous presidential debate. And the reason why it was so disastrous was because the amount of times Trump interrupted Biden. In fact, he interrupted Biden at least 128 times. The moderator, Chris Wallace, asked about the coronavirus.
This is the same man who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the
That
same
was
man.
said sarcastically.
That was not sarcastic. And he knows how stupid he sounded when he said we could try to inject disinfectants to cure the virus, so he's still trying to use the same lame excuse that he was being sarcastic. Trump then answered a question relating to the economy.
And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home.
No, people want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town.
Want
I'm
to
the
be
one that
safe.
brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it.
Reopening schools and restaurants during the middle of a global pandemic is not something to brag about. That's like you cheating on a test and bragging about you cheating in front of the whole class. Trump was then addressed about his tax fraud that he was caught paying only $750 in federal income tax in 2016 and 2017.
Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750?
Millions of dollars, and you'll get to see it.
I-
And you'll get to
When?
see it. But let me just
Inshallah?
tell you, I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is.
So, you're stupid? I'm pretty sure only paying a total of $750 in federal income tax in 2 years is considered not following the rules. Also, what are you talking about? There was no before I came here. You were the sitting president in 2016 and 2017. Also, can we go back to this?
I don't want to pay tax.
Yeah, no one does. And that's why you exploited the system to work in favor of rich businessmen to pay less taxes. But possibly one of the most craziest things of the night happened when Chris Wallace asked Trump to denounce white supremacists.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing
That's right.
extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do that,
specifically
but
do it?
Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you
If
saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to
supremacists.
condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and right-wing
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
The fact is that Trump wants to play both sides of the coin here. He wants to pretend that his entire campaign is based on law and order, and yet when it comes time to actually condemn a far-right hate group, he won't. If he actually cared about law and order, the political association of a hate group wouldn't matter because the Proud Boys are still hate groups. In real life, the only reason that Trump goes off about law and order isn't because he cares, it's because he thinks it's an effective campaign strategy to keep his base. Listen to this time 4 years ago when Trump was asked the same question by CNN's Jake Tapper.
Condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
Well, just so you understand, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, did he endorse me or what's going on? Because, I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacists. And certainly I would disavow if I thought there was something wrong. But you
Ku
may
Klux
have groups
Klan?
in there that are totally fine, and it would be very unfair. So give me a list of the groups, and I'll let you know.
Okay, I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here, but...
I don't know, honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
Trump is trying to pretend he doesn't know what white supremacists are because he knows that if he denounces them, he'll lose their vote. Let's move on from this debate and other stuff and look at what's putting everyone at the end of their chair right now. It's unsure how exactly Trump acquired the virus, but it was most likely from Trump advisor Hope Hicks, who traveled with him to one of Trump's rallies on Air Force One. And although Trump falls into the high-risk category of being elderly and obese, it is still pretty unlikely the president will die from the virus. Because of the constant testing the president gets, they are able to quickly get him under quarantine and in the hospital before symptoms worsened. And because he's the president, he'll get top medical treatment at the Walter Reed Medical Center. And this is just a sign that even though Trump claimed that everyone around him was tested and there was no need for a mask, he still got infected, which just shows Trump's denial of the science around the coronavirus. This virus doesn't care about your politics, it cares if you're wearing a mask. Everyone in the world is laughing at us right now. The first presidential debate was not a show of democracy, it was chaos. And now the country is on edge as the president still recovers from the deadly pandemic that has killed over 210,000 Americans. We're almost there to the election, and if everyone has their votes cast in, we're just gonna have to
stand back and stand by.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week on Trump Tuesday.